Oh,
She has,
serious or?
yeah, no, well, she had a stroke and she had
Oh,
damage. That's why I'm divorcing her, not because I wanted to divorce her, because she kicked me out of the house. Her personality was yeah. Okay, but here is what I. So I was with the I'm trying to come up with the simplest possible thing, and
mm,
okay, I want to talk to Timur about the better calling. So I'm going to start talking to my agent, and the agent's going to start to speak back to me. Uh, um, and so in this box, this corner is the speaker. This corner,
uh, I would I would like to say something here.
please.
So, I mean, let's take a step back and let's say if I want to call you, right, on Better.
Mm-hmm.
So, don't you think it's just an added step? Like, I need to talk with my agent, then my agent will talk to your agent, and then they will
Just
figure it out, like what we are going
no, I
to
don't
talk
think.
about.
I think it just. I think you can turn on and off agents listening in. I think, and I'm not sure if you need two agents listening in. You basically have like two repositories, and you need one UI. You don't need like a bunch of.
Yeah, I mean, will have their separate agent. I mean, we will have a one generic agent, and it will work for everyone.
It'll
So
be. But what I would say is yes, but say it a little differently. There would be one voice interface that would speak at a time, and it would represent your data, my data, other people. So if you don't want to have too many people talking at the same time over a conversation. You could have debates, but you just want to have let me say it a different way. I'm saying it poorly. You want to have, you don't want to overly burn tokens with everybody listening to the same thing over and over again. There
mhm.
should be one orchestrator that's listening to and it would be the person who's calling. So if I'm calling you, my agent's involved, and it's distilling what's going on, and
Yes, your agent is involved, and it will listen to your call and the entire call, and it will take notes. It will keep track of the entire context of the call. It will drill down the action points, action items, and everything in it. And after the meeting is done, I mean, if I am on the meeting, so my agent will also be doing the same thing. My agent will be taking notes and everything. And after the end of the meeting, it will tell me like, okay, Josh want the mood to do this. Josh want Oscar to do all these things. And for the next meeting, here is the agenda. So we'll probably talk about these things in the next meeting. So the agent will have context to everything. So when I come back and I open Better and I try to call you, so then agent will already show me like, okay, last time you talked with Josh about these things and you agreed on these points, and now in this meeting should be, or like, should contain these talking points, and you guys will work on these things. So this is the overall idea, if I'm getting it right.
yeah, I think I am. Uh, um, I don't think it's very important for us to talk about how many agents are involved right now, because it's hard to determine. But let's pick the simplest scenario. There's
Yeah, I
let's
totally
say
agree.
that, can you hear me
It
now?
was just, yes, I can hear you. I mean, I was saying it was just to like contemplate the overall thought
Yes, yes,
process.
yes, yes. Correct. You're 100% right, and I appreciate and agree that that's important. Um, I guess I'm just trying to avoid what I always do, which is try to boil the ocean before where we get everything done. My first goal here is just to um, say what does a conversation look like? You know, whether this is a oops, how do we do this? whether this is a desktop application or a mobile application, we've got a conversation going on here. I'm talking, the agent is, let's say, responding in a different color. I'm talking. But the goal of it is not to have this long transcript. The goal of it is to come out with the action list. For example, you know, Shanti, oops, Shanti has the push notification. She is removing conflicts, build conflicts. And whatever, conflicts. So she's removing build conflict. In other words, the agent is taking this conversation and it's putting these things into individual artifact tickets. Timur is you're building, I don't know, so tell me what you're doing. So you're testing the telephony as soon as she has it, but that's so there's there are steps for this process, right? She's Oscar is getting the push notification. So what we're doing is everything is getting informed by everybody else's agent, and it's kind of updating the objective. What's the objective? The objective is to receive inbound calls on the better phone app, right? On the better phone mobile app. So that's the objective. And then we have a bunch of actions that are going to be enumerated, and they'll be, at different parts of completion. That's it. Okay. So the objective is to receive an inbound call on better story iOS app. Estimated date for that is going to be, let's say, 8/24. Who's responsible for that? That will be Shanti. Then it's Timur. Then it is, constraints. Shanti is leaving, which she is, leaving to India on 8, whatever next Thursday is, the 26th. She's, and so she can, So that's a constraint that there. The another constraint is that um, we need to. What else would there be? Um, okay, so then we have the requirements. We want to make sure that it will um, um, follow all of the what do you call it? It will work similar to let's app telephony. What else do we want to make sure? So that includes that you can, telephony. That includes that the contact list, that you have from the contact list, you're able to call. What else? That you're able to have call waiting, uh, um, conference, um, screen share, uh, recording, um, notification, transcription. So you've got all of these things that this functionality needs to have. Um, and so this becomes, each of these things become their own boards, if you will. This is that are requirements. This is the objective section. So each of these can be a collapsed section. Um, um, so then you have the forecast. So I'm trying to come up with a like, what would I want to see in the app if I were to call to more and we were to look at this. So we're talking, it's transcribing, and we would have essentially the page, or the content about what we're talking about. Well, I would have the conversation, and it would be updating the actual page in real time in the background. So this would be the and so it could potentially do that. What are your thoughts? Are you still there?
No, it totally makes sense. It totally makes sense, and it's exactly what we want it to be. So the agent knows everything. It knows what we are talking about. It knows about the action points. It knows about what's coming next, what we previously have done, and then compiling everything into actionable boards, artifacts, and generating a complete project for the user.
Right. Now here's the important part. predicting the future, right? That's the really important thing that we are trying to get done. This is where all the this is where all the money is, right? How do you predict the future? And how does the agent highlight these things and say, oh, we're now talking about the telephony part and we're chatting, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have this real-time conversation. I just updated this part. So the screen is split in two between the well-constructed structured document that everybody can follow, and here, and in this well-constructed document is, this is the next steps, that it's predicting what's going on, and it's managing that, and you're having this conversation. So Josh is, let me get rid of this. Josh is speaking with Timur, and we're both speaking between each other, and it will, so and maybe it's just I'm overthinking it, but it would just be, you'd be here and I'd be there, and we'd be, talking over each other, and going back and forth, and all of this is being recorded because it's the chat, right? And if I was talking to the agent, it could be the agent chat, and if I wanted to add somebody else, then I could add another person. And it would, would show me this add person function. Oops, come on. And we would have whatever, green. Okay. So now if we have this frame, you could be adding other things to it, and that this is supporting this thing below here that you're building, and you're asking it questions, and it's interacting, and what it could be doing is showing you what it's changing and what it's saying. Oh, okay, so you want to make a decision as to what the UX would look like. Okay, so that's a forecast. Now we're going to add a design decision. Okay, so we added a design decision. We wanted here is the Figma link to the, to the frame that we URL that we like. Okay, so that's this Figma frame URL. And we decided on this, or if we didn't decide, yes, we have a board to pull on the design for the location of the calling function. I don't know, and so things have to be. I feel like they have to be like checked off to say, yep, what's the status of each of these things, so that you know that it's currently the number one thing that's being worked on in the requirements. So maybe what's going on is that the list changes, so we can see, okay, I don't need to talk about transcription and speaker ID and all these other things because they're not important. Oh, I need to add another constraint. In other words, this um, this whole area here is essentially the formula for how you end up building this functional component. And if you want to, and maybe the whole thing just scrolls off the page, um, or or the um, or the whole telephony function is like, I can close this at any time, but I know that I know this is the conversation I'm having now. How do I do this? So this would be collapsed into the conversation. Yeah, it would be this would be the active conversation, and I could see past conversations that I had because this is just a history of the telephony. I can see the fast that I've had a meeting, and if I need to add more people um, to the call, I guess I could do that. Um, I don't know. So what are your thoughts? I have to get to other things, but I want to get this at a point to more where it's like always obvious that 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 this is the most important thing, that we're going to predict with accuracy that Timor is going to have this done by, this particular date. It's going to try to predict. Uh, um, and if I want to click on this thing about Timor's predictions of the date, I can see, well, Timor is highly reliable. He's got low chances. This is what it is. This is all this stuff. In other words, everything that's talked about in the document, you can kind of have a conversation around and change the formula. This is the formula, and this is the worksheet that allows you to work it out. Just like in school where you had a scratch piece of paper and you were working on your calculations, this is that, showing your work, and this is the final result of the cleaned up version of what it looks like. What do you think?
No, it makes sense. Totally.
And that way, when
I
you're,
guess we are
go
finally
ahead.
at that point where we know what agent will do.
I'm sorry, please say that again.
I said, I guess we are finally at that point where we know exactly how the agent will operate.
Oh yeah, yay. Yeah.
Yes,
It only
finally.
took 10 years to more. I don't know. It felt like, oh my
Felt like
God,
yesterday. Right?
it's so crazy. But it has to be this. It has to be these little boxes, and they're a conversation. And if I want to go and drill into it, because it's and maybe I'm drawing these boxes incorrectly, but and maybe this goes on the bottom and this goes on the top, or however you end up doing it. But it's
The
it,
boxy layout will be too much for this. I mean, we need to come up with a better layout. So, because otherwise there will be just too many boxes in there.
yeah.
But yeah, the overall idea, I totally understand the idea and how it all will work out. But for the design part, we can do much better than job than this.
So that would be awesome. So yeah. So if you have something that is like the document is on the page, you've got the table of contents. You can always move back through the table of contents, wherever the top navigation is thing, and you can pull out the for any project. You can always pull out the the conversation, and it slides out and so forth. But um, yeah, so you have the people, you have the content, you have under the content you have this formula, and then anytime you're in any one of these things, maybe it's just injects itself, the conversation in it, and then you can it because you don't need the history. That's a mistake that I think people, you're looking forward all the time. I just care about improving what I'm getting and making sure that this is right. And so at the end of the day, this card gets squashed down to, you know, I'm we're going to be testing the inbound calling function on this particular date. That's the important thing. Now, how many steps go? There could be 100 steps that go in there, but what's important to me is that's the date. Then I can go back and it can say, "Oh yeah, we're at risk of not making it. Why? Because Shanti is sick, or we found this problem in the bug in Apple, or whatever it happens to be." It, but at least we'll have a way to go back to it, because it's like, what do you need to know? What's the most important thing that you need to know? If you look back on, I don't know, you were in Pakistan and you were trying to decide with your wife where to go live in Dubai, and you knew that you had to find an apartment, you knew that there were all these factors involved, and you had, at the end of the day, is really just like, what's the date I'm supposed to move in? How much are they going to charge me? What's the terms of the rent? And then it starts to become less and less and less important factors. Oh, yeah, I need to know how far we are away from, my mother in law, or how far we are away from, whatever it is. I'm, you can start to add those factors, but they don't become, it's like the way that I want you to maybe think about it is like it's what you need is that everything's concentric circles, and you have these importance of what you need to know, and you're trying to drill down to the smallest possible card every time as to what you're looking for. And so there's, I don't know if I'm making any sense here. I'm just going on. So you just care about, three things inside here. Okay, now you care about five things in here. Do you need to know about the 100 other things? Do you need to know about the potential issues that might come into play? Do you need to know all this stuff? No, this is what I need to know. And AI is going to look at all these different things to just have me know, oh, I need to make a decision. Okay, tomorrow you need to make a decision over here. Which one do you want? Where do you want to go? I found this place, this good new apartment offering. It's blah blah blah, and you show it to your wife. You send it. You guys play a little board game where you each rate what you think is the most important thing and how you thought of the place independently, and then it comes back with the result, and it gives you a suggestion. It's compressing time, and it's trying to take this. So then this conversation about the call inbound calling, at the end of the day, it's just, this is the requirement, or this is the feature. um, and then we have another one for outbound phone calling. And people start adding more and more and more to inbound calling. Oh, you don't have enough functions in here. You need to change this. Here's another design, and that they just kind of build it. But at the end of the day, the important things, it's inbound calling. And now what's the big barrier that's holding us back that we're trying to shoot for? So now we need we need support for I don't know, MS Teams. We need, and that becomes the focal point of this card. And this is the card, right? It's getting this function there, and the fact that I've got a whole page on it is and I've got this chapter. What do you what do you think? Any any thoughts on that?
No, it does make sense. Overall, the entire concept of the agent and how it will operate.
How do I do this? Oh, it's up front. Um, okay. Do you want to take a shot at that? Because I think if we can, we're having it so it needs to speak back. And then what I'm thinking is that um, you you got the speaker, you've got the mic. I don't know where my speaker is. If I want to add somebody, okay, I'm going to add somebody. Now, what do you want to do? Do you want to add them? How do we? So now I've got another. This is probably on a separate line, but I've added another person. Another person. Now I'm going to set up a meeting, and and maybe what's happening is this. Now that I am doing this, this has nothing to do with the board. It has to do with the agent and what's going on it, right? Like, I'm talking to you about this specific issue point on the page, and where, like, just like it would be
This
Microsoft.
calling, so this calling or inviting people becomes a part of the agent.
Yes, it's just
Okay.
all the agent. The agent is the real-time communications thing. The the um, the the story, and the document, the specification document, the story, the thing that's being created in the background is how you can work alone and talk to your agent and get everything built, or you could talk to Tamor and your agent, and hold a meeting on it, or but you're chatting about it now.
Basically, if I add anything like, okay, in this project, Ahmed needs to do this, so agent will know like, okay, Ahmed will be involved in this meeting or in this project. So let's initiate a call with Ahmed regarding that,
Exactly.
and Ahmed will get the entire context of what this project is, and agent will know the context as well, and then it will start narrating things. It will start taking notes and everything, and then it generates the entire meeting notes or the meeting minutes and then the action points and everything
Right.
based on the meeting.
Exactly. And so what it looks like is now what we're missing is the suggestions part of it, right? So the suggestions are here. It's like, oh, call Emmett, and it's like hieroglyphics. It's got the phone call, phone Emmett, you hover over it, it says call Emmett. And you can, and it has maybe an information thing like, why call Emmett? Well, because he actually knows what to do, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm going to take your suggestion better. I'm going to call Emmett. I'm going to take your suggestion. I'm going to schedule a meeting. I'm going to do all those things. So maybe it is, maybe all of these controls really um, are kind of down below here, with the next step of what's doing, because it's going to suggest, it's going to put its suggestions here on here anyways for you to do. Share a screen, go to this URL, do this thing, answer this question, and it's, you've got, attach this document, um, and yeah, exactly what you said. And at the end of the day, it's the, how do you get all these things? Can you navigate to here and just turn this into a row of buttons? And then I think you've got your angel here, and it's telling you what to do, and it's saying, oh, you need us, and it's basically conversing. Can you turn this into a frame and make it horizontal? Or how do I do this? I do frame, and then I do this. There we go. Like that. Oh no. And you're probably doing, you got more people over here. Oh, this is more people. So if we get this right, and now, you're just like bouncing back to, you're arrowing back or whatever it is to the previous, whatever. I don't know why it gets hidden. And so I don't know if you saw. So the main, when you kind of land on the thing. Oh, um, So you'd have like I was thinking that you'd have the contests in here somehow. Um, and this would just kind of start things off. So if you clicked on a person here, it would open up start to open up the agent. If you clicked on a and you had some way to switch back to the story. Um, are you working on something in the background?
Yes, I'm working on code conflicts.
I'm sorry, say again?
I am working on the code conflicts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, so this works well because if you have this, and we can call this requirements, and put the board number in it or whatever it is. Um, um, what I think what would be nice about it is that you've got like there when you click on something on the bottom like this, you're always going to be, this section has to refer back to something. So let's say this is about the I don't even know if this needs to be shown, but Okay, I think you've got a good. I think you got a good handle on it, Timur.
I can do one thing, like after completing the code part for the mobile app, so I can give it a try to design something for this, and then we can take it from there.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me again. Say that again. After completing what for the mobile app?
After completing the code conflicts
Oh,
for from
the
mobile app,
conflicts that you're working on with Shanti on the conflict.
yes,
Uh huh.
yeah. So
Okay.
then I can take this up and I can design something for this, and we can take it as a base, and then we can start building on top of it.
Okay. So let's try. Um, y- yeah. 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 I was gonna ask Ahmed to. So what did? So what I'm trying to get all the core concepts down, and that is that when you start when you and I think this is a fundamental thing when you before you start anything, you have all the options in front of you. Do you want to start with a person? Do you want to start with something that just went on? Where's search? I'll have the. Do I want to search for something that I think is that I have that I need to create something new? In other words, here's the content I have. I I have something that tells me there's a new meeting coming up. Um, I don't know about these stories things, so I'm going to put that off to the side. There's quests that's going on here, and let's say this is like this week that's 12,000 points are up for grab on this particular quest, and then there's another one, and so there's you can earn better points, um, but it's super clean so that anything you want to talk about, and if you wanted to bring out, I guess it's um, if you press that. Okay. I think it's that simple. The revolutionary things are that we said that once you've selected something, then the selecting of the people, the calling, all the activities, the stuff you can type in, the suggestions and so forth, they basically are at your disposal through the agent. If I close the agent, I'm back to the home screen and I have to, or back to this board. If I go back to home and I press this and go back to home, then I'm going to see everything, including the calendar and the like. Okay, so now it makes it easy. I pick tomorrow. I want to have a conversation about something that's new. Then I could either call him, I could chat with his agent, um, and it will start to open up that page for me. Um, okay, I think that's it. And then and then what happens is the conversations go into the chat. Um, if it's a meeting, it goes into the chat. If there's settings, it goes into here. And then I use the same thing to modify my profile. Okay, I think I've got a rough idea of it. Um, Man, that took way too long to come up with. Um, and then I have the meetings coming up, and I have the quests, which are the important things that I've got. And I've got, okay. Anything else, Tamor, that you can think of that we need to be speaking about?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we discussed it in pretty detail.
Um, yeah, so I need to put down so this is the agent, and then you're just talking to it, and it's typing, and it's doing its thing. And then what it does is it collapses stuff after a while into like these shortened conversations, so you can scroll back on it. Okay. All right, I'll join the the scrum later. Sounds good. Okay, cool.
Okay.
See ya. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye. Hasta luego.